Hello everybody. Today I am making a hair scrunchie. I'm using my brother's sewing machine. I think I actually have the video thing right today. I have already cut it. I didn't have 20 inches of the fabric, but it's usually 5 by 20 inches with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I did 5 by 18. Still a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then I have my elastic here. I do 7 inches of that. All right. So I have it in the machine, and I have it with it's folded. So see, this is a seam, and what you do is you put the outside seams together and you push the inside seams in. So this is the inside seams, and I have the 2 outside seams together, and I am sewing them straight down with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And then when I get close enough, I pull it through to grab the other side. I also open up the seams so that they may be flatter as I go over them. Stop right on top of the seam, and you just take your time and you pull it through until you have about an inch and a half gap, whichever side of the gap you are comfortable with, to pull the entire thing through and to feed the elastic through. I have my stitch length on 4, stitch width on 3, tension between 3 and 4. This is knit, so keep in mind may have to get well, this is a t-shirt, but it's still soft. So a knit needle, which has a dollar point, so that it won't fray. And I like to pull this through when I have the needle down. I'm not pulling on the needle. And see, I have the other part coming through. Now the color, I put this color, this blue. However, to top stitch it, I will do with a color that is more suitable to the actual fabric, because you want it to blend in. Now we're almost to the end, and I will leave it open about 1 inch and 1/4 inch and a half. Y'all hear noise downstairs? There's 3 kids down there with Legos. Alright, and this is the closing on this side. I'm going to go a little bit further. It's starting to roll. I don't want it to roll inside because I need it to be flat. So I'll try to... That's the crazy thing about knit. It will roll. Alright. I snip it. You can see me turn it inside out. Did I leave that big enough? I must a little bit closer than I thought I did. Alright, now we have to turn it inside out. Keep in mind my left hand is my bad hand and my right hand just got injected, so it's still weak. I have had an interesting week, to say the least. But today is Sunday, the start of a new week. I'm sewing. Got one dress, a suit to do. I talk about everything on my videos. I don't stay specific to the video because I'm working. So you still get to see what I'm doing. And I haven't figured out how to do the music thing right exactly yet, because one time I was doing a video and they cut it off because they said the music was something. I was like, what? All right, so usually people iron it, okay? I only iron it if I am making a scrunchie that has what you call it? Oh my goodness, a decorative edge. If it doesn't have decorative edge, I don't iron it because I don't need it to be flat. Okay, and you check here. A seam is out, so I will check. All right, I had to stop the video because my son and his friends was not going to stop working from home. Oh my goodness. There's never a quiet moment. Someone always has something. So I have this. I've put it on a safety pin. I take the other part of this and I pin it to the outside so that it won't go through while I'm pulling on it. And then you just feed this through until you come out on the other side. I have a smaller safety pin in it than usual because I was not getting up from this chair. My child and his friends, and all their stuff. But you squeeze it together and you just take your time and feel for the head of the bobby pin. If you can, as much fabric as you can push across it is as much fabric as you can grab. And you'll see it begin to crunch up. So that's what it does. I don't do many of these because they hurt my wrist really badly. And now you're back to the hole in which you started. And now you have, don't let this one go through, but now you have both parts. You have your scrunchie. And I like this way because I did 7.5 inches for the scrunchie. But I have found that with this, you get to pick like this, you get to choose how tight you want it to be, okay? Because sometimes I have done a scrunchie and I just tied it at the beginning thinking, oh, well, that's how tight it's supposed to be, blah, 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 and then it didn't work. So at least this way you can gauge how tight you want your scrunchie to be. And I advise everybody to do that because, again, it makes a difference. And I tie it one more time. And it needs to be tight enough though for you to open your hands. And then you let it go in between the hole. I don't care about it twisting. I actually think the twisting makes it more cute. This is a pretty big scrunchie, so y'all are aware of that. But it's a scrunchie. I'll put on my res. I hope you enjoyed it. That's how well, I am going to still have to close this. I didn't want y'all to think that, oh my gosh, she's not even going to close it. I am going to close it, but I wanted y'all to know that you don't have to see me close it because you saw me hand stitch already. However, if you want to see me close it. I don't like to make knots. So I sort of go in the same spot a few times until I upset the motion of threading, and then it can't unthread because I've gone through it so many times, and it's like, oh my goodness, lady, don't come through here again. And once I do that, see, I can pull it and nothing's happening. Then I take this tail in that I don't need, and I put it inside here. I hold that. See if it's in focus. The crazy thing is, my eyes refocus themselves all the time. So I can see this right now, but when I go look at the screen, it's like, what is that? Now you can overstitch or you can blind hem stitch. Whatever your preference is, it's up to you. Whatever you're most comfortable with, it doesn't matter, tell you the truth. Just know that you want to make sure it doesn't come apart. And sometimes with the blind stitch, if you don't stitch it right, it will come apart. Because you have to get both sides evenly. See? That's blinding it, but you have to get both sides evenly. I just have a few more to go. Sometimes it is so hard for me to sew something with my hands because they move so crazily. So I can never grasp what I really need to grasp, and it takes me the time to fight with grasping it because my hands are weird. Use the table to push that through because it has become very thick, difficult to get through. This old lady there, she goes, oh, you look like you're struggling, darling. Can I give you help? I said, no, ma'am. I just need you to wait till I get to what I need to do. I get it. I'm not in a rush. If you need a rush, go serve someone else. I'll be finished in a few. She's like, you're much too young for that. I said, oh, because sickness has a specific age. That makes sense. And she just looked at me as if, I can't believe I just said that to her, but I think the same thing about her. All right. It shouldn't take you this long to hand stitch it. It takes me a while longer, again, because of my hand problems, but this is a quick thing. Should be a quick thing. Oh, damn this thing. Another part of threading I do not like. I actually fixed that one pretty quickly. What happens is the thread becomes entangled because you're putting it in directions it does not want to go. And it becomes very twisted on the thread itself. All right, so I'm at the end. I went a little bit over the end. Now I'm going to do a lot of double twisting. I do not like knots. Keep that in mind. I do not like knots. And I take this and I just go through that. And then I cut it off. When I first started sewing, I used to do a lot of knots, but I found that they're not needed if you play with the fabric. And here is the scrunchie that I made out of, or I don't know where the shirt went now. Oh, out of this t-shirt. This is the t-shirt, and this is the side that's missing. Oh, this scrunchie. It's an upcycle. Hope you enjoyed the video. Click below and subscribe.